Reading from Ayurveda and the Mind, The Healing of Consciousness, David Frawley. Consciousness, the world within. What is consciousness? Through what we think, feel, and perceive. How is it that we can be aware of anything? While these are easy questions to pose, they're very difficult to answer. The way to examine them is to begin to look into consciousness and how it functions. Consciousness is the most wonderful thing in the universe. There is no limit to its depth or its grasp. It is like a vast ocean, but unless we know how to navigate properly through it, we can get lost. If we dive into it without the right preparation, we can drown. Many mentally disturbed people are so immersed in their internal consciousness that they can no longer function in the external world. To us, they appear caught in delusion. In fact, they may be accessing deeper realities, although not in a wholesome manner. Consciousness is our inner world. When the yogi looks within, he sees his consciousness pulsating with cosmic forces. When we look within, however, we see only darkness or vague memories. Our external vision blinds us. We're so conditioned to the vivid light of the senses that we cannot perceive the subtle light of consciousness. Learning to observe the content of our consciousness is the most important part of mental and spiritual development. Ayurveda provides specific disciplines and meditation technique for this purpose. When consciousness is illumined, we transcend all external limitations. We no longer need to experience the external world because we have learned its lesson that all is within. In Sanskrit, the greater mental field or field of thought is called chitta, from the root of chit, meaning to be aware. Chitta refers to greater mind, unconscious, subconscious, self-conscious, and superconscious. Chitta is the mind or consciousness in general, the field created by our thoughts. It specifically refers to the internal core of the mind, our center of pure feeling and direct knowing. Chitta is the inner mind, of which our outer or personal mentality is limited development. Out of convenience, I have translated chitta as consciousness, but we should not forget that this is only an approximation. Most of chitta is unconscious to the ordinary mind. Only in a spiritual developed person is the field of consciousness fully conscious or aware. Such a person can look at the entire mental field because he or she has reached the pure consciousness of self beyond the limitation of thought. What modern psychology calls the unconscious is but a corner of this greater consciousness or chitta. Modern psychology has penetrated into the personal consciousness and to some extent the collective unconscious. Our potential field of consciousness extends to all consciousness in the universe, both individual and collective, personal and impersonal, including God. It goes beyond all conditioned consciousness to pure consciousness, which is the absolute or supreme truth. This is the field of yogic psychology, which is the psychology of the higher self.